This is going to be an interesting video. Tangled has always been my #1 favorite Disney movie since I saw it as a wee child. Well, actually, when did it come out? Like 2010? Girl, this movie's 10 years old.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
Well, now I need to rethink my whole life. Tangled has always been my favorite movie ever by Disney. And also I have been recently obsessed with Tangled the series. If you have not seen my previous video about that show, you know, I just really relate to Rapunzel. We're both German. We both had really long hair at one point before we cut into a bob. We both never leave the house. We both paint everything we own. I don't have the materials to do everything on our list, like sewing a dress or making candles. I don't have the materials and I don't want to go out and buy it or anything, so we are working with what we have. Honestly, I think the hardest part is going to be waking up early because you gotta wake up at 7 a.m. every morning, and I have been sleeping in until 3 p.m. every afternoon. I was gonna say morning, that's definitely not the morning anymore. So the lyrics are, I'm not gonna sing because I want to preserve your ears. 7 a.m. the usual morning lineup. Start on shorts, sweep till the floor's so clean. Polish and wax the laundry, mop and shine up. Sweep again, and by then it's like 7:15, and so I'll read a book, or maybe 2 or 3. I'll add a few new paintings to my gallery. I'll paint, guitar, and knit, and cook, and basically just wonder when will my life begin. Then after lunch is puzzles and darts and baking. Paper mache, a little ballet and chess. Pottery and ventriloquy, candle making. Then I'll stretch, maybe sketch, take a climb, sew a dress, and then I'll read the books if I have time to spare. I'll paint the wall some more. I'm sure there's room somewhere. And then I'll brush and brush and brush and brush my hair, stuck in the same place I've always been. This also might be an issue because I do still have school, unfortunately. So I do still have school assignments and stuff to work on. So that might get into the way of this experiment. So let's just see how this goes. Sweep again, and by then it's like 7:15, except it's 7:44 because I took too much time setting up my camera. So far I have done chores as soon as I woke up. I love Rapunzel, sweetie, but girl, why are you waking up at the crack of dawn just to do chores as soon as you wake up? That's not, you know, in my mind, my ideal morning routine to be. So I just want to ask her, are you okay? Talking to her like she's a real person. I'm losing it. I'm losing it so early. I know it's not on her list to get ready, but I need to get ready for myself, and so I don't look like a goblin for all of eternity. So I'm gonna get dressed and wash my face and do all that, and I'll see you in a little bit. Bye! For today's outfit, I clearly wanted to channel some princess trapped in a tower vibes, and I think I pretty much encapsulated that. Obviously, next up is some light reading, and I only had one book in my apartment, so I really didn't have much of a choice here on the options. It's basically like a twisted tale of Mulan, the Disney story, but she goes into the underworld. It's very weird. Anyways, I decided to read outside because I have this tiny little balcony that I never go out of, and there's just a tiny dead plant in the corner, but I realized I haven't gotten fresh air in over 48 hours, and also, even though I'm only on the 2nd floor, a girl can dream that, you know, Flynn Rider might walk by and rescue me from my tower. I do have a gallery. You could call it that, even though I only painted like 3 things up there, but I actually do have a class assignment that I have to get done by the end of the day. But it works with the painting in the gallery because I have to do a still life, but digitally on Photoshop. But that's still painting. It's digital painting, but it's still painting. This is so much earlier than I normally wake up, and I've already accomplished at least 2 things. So that is quite an achievement if you ask me. So. Also, fun fact, I was in Girl Scouts, and I worked at a summer camp as a counselor, and they had to give us like camp names. Like my friend was Pickles, and there was like Fish Stick and stuff, and mine was Rapunzel because my hair was ridiculously long. Anyways, I'm gonna go do my school assignment right now, and hopefully they won't take me too long. So it actually took me forever because I was using the mobile app version of Photoshop because I didn't have a tablet that worked with my computer. So I had to redo the entire assignment all over again because I didn't know how to use the app and I forgot to save, and the whole thing crashed and deleted my data. So it took me like 3 hours instead of 1, and I was super upset and mad, and it was not fun. The painting definitely turned out kind of terrible because I barely had time to finish it, and I kind of also gave up, but I decided to make some cookies to cheer myself up and also played Animal Crossing while they're baking because I'm addicted, and also Tom Nook basically owns my soul at this point. Also, the cookies are really good and I surprisingly did not burn them, which I'm very proud of myself for. So I just continued to read my book while eating the rest of the cookies, and then I brushed my hair, and that was the end of day 1.
Day 2. Actually, fun fact, it's not day 2. It's like 3 or 4 days later because I had such a bad time trying to wake up early that it just didn't work, and I finally woke up early enough, and it's like a little bit late. It's like 7:25, but that's because my alarm didn't go off. So I'm gonna get up and do my chores for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to follow the rest of the schedule. Maybe these few days will make me a morning person, who knows?
Spoiler alert, I never became a morning person and each day just gets harder. Anyways, I started out by taking out my roommate's boyfriend's trash, which I'm totally not bitter about, and then I did the rest of my living room and kitchen, and then I started on my book again with a nice cup of coffee. In order to add a new painting to my gallery, I actually found these really tiny canvases that I totally forgot I had, and inspiration just struck me. You could say that I was inspired and he was my muse. It's just my favorite Elmo meme, It's really very... There's nothing deep or special about it. It's just my favorite meme. There we are. Next up, it's time for some baking, and I had some old bananas lying around, so I decided to try to make banana bread because have you really been quarantined if you haven't tried to make bread at least once? I didn't think so. It's almost like a rite of passage. I also dropped an egg on the ground because I clearly know what I'm doing, but the bread actually turned out really good. I was very surprised as how easy it was to actually make it because I've never made it before, but 10 out of 10 would recommend. Go make yourself some banana bread. Again, I ended by brushing my hair, even though I don't have that much hair to begin with, but it's the thought that counts.
Good morning. 7:00 a.m. I actually, fun fact, didn't get any sleep last night. Like, any sleep. I don't know if you can tell. But we're still doing it because I hate myself. I'm definitely even more sleep deprived than I normally would be. Because like I said, I got no sleep because, oh my god, I swear I'm not crazy. Where'd she go? Oh, over there. There she is. Alright, I just had to share that. I'm going insane. Okay, so let's see what's on the agenda. Today I'm actually gonna try to follow it to a T because I know the past 2 days I've been kind of lax with it, especially yesterday because I had a ton of homework assignments and I literally had an exam. I want to sweep the floors, but we don't have a broom, we just have vacuum, and I'm gonna be a good neighbor and not vacuum at 7 in the morning because everyone in this building is gonna hate me if I do that.
So of course I did not do that, and instead I just did my normal chores and Swiffered my apartment for the 3rd time this week. Seeing that cat really lifted my spirits on this early morning, and I had a fun time doing my chores. Actually, no, I did not have a fun time, but it was bearable. Okay, it's loud because the dishwasher is running, but I'm not saying it's perfectly clean, but I did organize a lot. It looks messy, but trust me, you do not want to see the before picture. So we're going to pretend this makeup didn't take me a little over an hour. Today's outfit is inspired by Cassandra or Cass from Tangled, the animated series, which you should watch. If you haven't watched it, I made a whole video on it. You should go check it out. But I just kind of have her hair. My hair is
My hair is really giving off Moon Cassandra vibes, so I went for it. It's a little obviously greener than hers because it's fading, but I tried, she has like a little bang loop-de-loop, but I tried just like making it with a bandana. So she's my favorite character in the show, her and Varian. Wow, amazing. I'm gonna go read more of my book. It's the Mulan one. Next up is to add a painting to your gallery, and I actually do have this one that I painted yesterday for a video that I haven't decided if I'm actually posting or not. So I'm gonna put this on my wall. I don't know how I'm gonna stick this up because all I have is sticky tack because I don't want to damage my wall. Play guitar and knit. I don't have a guitar and I don't know how to knit or have any knitting materials. So I'm gonna play piano. That's close enough to guitar, right? I think what I'm gonna do is I do have like some air dry clay, so I can do a little bit of pottery. I can't do ventriloquy or candle making, but I can sketch, and then for take a climb, I think I'm actually gonna just take a walk. So I can walk around my neighborhood because I actually haven't left like the house physically in days. And it's probably good to walk outside. So I could really only do pottery out of those three because I just had some air dry clay, and I quickly discovered it is not for me. I was absolutely terrible at it. I spent over an hour trying to follow a pinch pot tutorial, and every single attempt just turned out so bad. I ended up just giving up. I couldn't do it. Anyways, after that I did some stretching and then I did some sketching, and I usually just follow a random face on Pinterest for practice. So I just pulled up a random portrait and started to draw it with my pencil. Pretty self-explanatory. I do want to try to incorporate this into my routine in the future because, you know, practicing drawing every day is really good to get those art muscles flexing. It's not my best sketch, but it only took me about 30 minutes or so, and it's not that bad. Last thing I did on this day was I went on a walk, and it only took me maybe like 2 miles or so. I didn't end up walking that far, but it's more than I usually walk, which is 0 miles, so it is something. I also ended up finding this empty parking garage because obviously there's no one around, and it was actually kind of weird and eerie, but also kind of fun to just sit there with nobody there. It was very weird. It was like the first time I've ever seen it empty. Very apocalyptic. This day was way shorter than the others, so again I woke up at 7 a.m. and then I proceeded to do my laundry and other chores. But today was the day I decided I was going to finally make my TikTok coffee, and I'm pretty sure you've already seen this everywhere. It's just 2 tablespoons of coffee grounds, 2 tablespoons of water, and 2 tablespoons of sugar, and then you stir it for an ungodly amount of time. I was trying to stir this while I was reading my book. I think it took me like an hour and a half of stirring, and I ended up using this hand mixer because otherwise I would have never gotten it done. And then I just added it to like a tall glass of milk, and it was actually really good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was actually really good, and I started making this for my coffee every single day now, but I use a hand mixer so I don't kill my hands. But it was actually good. I do recommend it, even though it took me forever. I just knew I wanted to recreate the iconic painting from When Will My Life Begin, but I can't obviously paint on my apartment walls because I do not own the place. So I actually have this giant cardboard box that I got from an Amazon package, and you know when you order something on Amazon and it's pretty small, and then they give you this giant cardboard box for absolutely no reason. Like,
What was the reason? There's so much waste going on there. Anyways, I took that giant box that I had lying around and I decided to make a canvas out of it, and I taped it to my door and I just painted with some acrylic paints, and it actually turned out way better than I thought it would. I swear one day I'm actually gonna paint the Tangled painting on my wall when I own a place someday, mark my words. But anyways, that was actually all I did this day, so on to the final day.
Okay, so today is the last day, hopefully, and I'm gonna get to do my laundry and a few more chores, and then I'll get to reading my book.
I just wanted to say that I actually really enjoyed this aspect of the morning routine. I really want to get back into reading because I used to be such a big bookworm when I was younger, and I don't know if anyone else has gone through this, like since the introduction of the internet. I really have lost touch with it as a hobby. So I'm really glad I can start doing it now, and I hope to read more in the future. Also, I wanted to show off my Finding Nemo cup because I think it's very cute. So since my cardboard painting dried last night, I decided to hang it up as part of my gallery. And then I did some more pottery with some polymer clay. I tried to make the Animal Crossing leaf sign, but actually when I cooked it in the oven and I took it out, it was too thin and it broke. Clearly I have a great track record with pottery. So again, I decided to do some stretching, and then I went on a walk around my neighborhood, admiring all the beautiful scenery like the dumpsters in the back of the buildings. Actually, I really recommend, if you want to start getting into running and walking, there's this app called like Zombie Run or something, and it makes it seem like you're being chased by zombies, and it's a very good, incentive to run faster if you think you're actually going to die by a horde of zombies. Great practice for the apocalypse, highly recommend. After being tired out from walking and running so long, I decided to finish off my day by painting my best painting yet. Of course, it is of Squidward.
I don't think that will fit in with the other pieces in my collection. Why not? Because it's an art collection!
I have a friend who keeps sending me like Squidward paintings that he wants me to paint, and I was painting this farmer Squidward, of course. I believe that the blank stare in his eyes really, it kind of encompasses the blank feeling of being trapped inside without any humanity or contact with the outside world. Truly an inspiring piece of art. In conclusion, what did we learn from this experience? We learned that A, I hate waking up early, and B, Rapunzel has way too much time on her hands, and now so do I. Anyways, I'm sorry for this video, but if you're new, it'd be cool if you subscribed. I'm desperate. Stay Untangled the series, and I'll see you next week. Bye!